Somewhere out there, right now, a star is dimming in a way that should be impossible. A radio telescope, long since decommissioned, once recorded 72 seconds of something we still cannot explain. A region of space, 300 million light-years wide, sits almost entirely empty, and our entire galaxy is being pulled towards something we cannot see. We have built the most powerful telescopes in human history. We have mapped the cosmic microwave background. We have photographed the shadow of a black hole. And yet, the universe is still hiding something. This is Hollow Signal, 5 cosmic mysteries that astronomy still can't explain. On August 15, 1977, a radio telescope called Big Ear, sitting in a quiet field in Delaware, Ohio, recorded the loudest signal Earth has ever received from deep space. It came from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, from a patch of sky between 2 stars called Tau Sagittarii and Chi Sagittarii. No planet, no probe, no known satellite, empty space. The signal lasted exactly 72 seconds. It was transmitted on the hydrogen line, 1420.4 megahertz. The single frequency that decades earlier, physicists Cocconi and Morrison had publicly predicted as the most logical broadcast channel for an alien civilization, because hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. Any intelligent species would arrive at the same conclusion. The signal was 30 times louder than the surrounding cosmic background. The astronomer on duty that night was named Jerry Eman. When the printout came in, he did not speak. He stared at it. He picked up a red pen. He circled the 6 characters that mapped the signal's intensity. And in the margin, he wrote one word: wow. That is the name we use to this day. In the 49 years since, every major radio telescope on Earth has at some point pointed back at that patch of sky. The Very Large Array, Arecibo, before it collapsed, the Green Bank Telescope, the Allen Telescope Array, SETI projects spanning decades. The signal has never returned. It was not a satellite. There were no satellites broadcasting on the hydrogen line in 1977. The band is internationally protected. It was not a reflection from Earth. The signal structure matched a fixed point in deep space, not anything orbital. It was not solar interference, not lightning, not a hot pixel. In 2017, a researcher named Antonio Paris proposed that 2 passing comets may have caused the signal. The hypothesis was reviewed and largely rejected. The comets emit hydrogen, yes, but nowhere near the intensity required. And follow-up observations of the same comets at the same frequency produced nothing. So here is what does not fit. We listened for 72 seconds, then we listened for 49 more years, and in all that time, with all our instruments, with every advance in radio astronomy, the universe gave us one whisper and then went silent. We still don't know who sent it or why they stopped. In 1981, an astronomer at Harvard named Robert Kirshner was mapping the distribution of galaxies in a particular region of the sky. And he found a hole, not a metaphorical hole, an actual, physical, 330 million light-year wide region of space that was almost entirely empty. It sits in the direction of the constellation Bootes. Today it is called the Bootes Void. The observable universe is not uniformly filled with galaxies. It is a vast web, filaments of galaxies stretched between massive clusters, separated by smaller voids. This is normal. It is predicted by the standard cosmological model. What is not normal is the Bootes Void. It is more than 10 times larger than a typical void of its age. By every model of cosmic structure formation, a void this size should not exist this early in the universe's life. There simply has not been enough time since the Big Bang for gravity to clear out a region this large. When Kirshner published his findings, the astronomy community assumed the void was a mapping error, that the galaxies were there but had simply not been cataloged yet. So they looked. Over the next decade, surveys confirmed there are roughly 60 galaxies inside the Bootes Void, in a region of space where, statistically, there should be around 2,000. Astronomer Greg Aldring once said it like this: if the Milky Way had been located in the center of the Bootes Void, we would not have known there were other galaxies in the universe until the 1960s. We would have looked up and seen only stars and believed we were alone. Here is what does not fit. We don't know how a void this large formed. We don't know if it is empty by random chance or by a process we have not yet discovered. There are theories, quantum fluctuations from the early universe, supervoid mergers, even more exotic ideas involving dark energy or, in the speculative fringe, Type 3 civilizations harvesting stellar material. None of them work cleanly. What we know is this: there is a hole 330 million light-years across, and inside it, something is missing. In 2015, an astronomer named Tabitha Boyajian was sorting through data from NASA's Kepler Space Telescope when she noticed something that broke every model she had. There is a star in the constellation Cygnus, 1,470 light-years from Earth, with the catalog name KIC 8462852. We now call it Tabby's star. Kepler watched it for over 4 years, measuring its brightness every 30 minutes, and what Kepler saw, astronomy still cannot explain. A normal star, with a normal planet orbiting in front of it, dims by roughly 1%, in a perfectly smooth, repeating pattern. Tabby's star did not behave that way. In March of 2011, it dimmed by 15%, and then snapped back to normal. In February of 2013, it dimmed by 22%, in an irregular, jagged pattern that lasted weeks. 22%. To block that much light, something would need to be enormous. A planet the size of Jupiter passing in front of the star would only block 1%. Whatever was occluding Tabby's star was, by some estimates, over 1,000 times larger than Jupiter, and crucially, not symmetrical, not round, not planet-shaped. When Penn State astronomer Jason Wright reviewed the data, he co-authored a paper that included one phrase that would, briefly, electrify the world: a swarm of alien megastructures. The hypothesis was that we might be looking at a Dyson swarm, an array of artificial structures built by an advanced civilization partially encircling their star to collect its energy. It was a fringe theory, even then, but it was, technically, consistent with the data. The internet ran with it. Then the explanations began to arrive. Cometary debris, interstellar dust, a planetary collision recently in the star's history. In 2018, follow-up observations confirmed the dimming was wavelength dependent, which strongly suggests dust, not solid structures. So the leading explanation today is dust. Here is what doesn't fit. The dimming patterns are still not fully predicted by any dust model. The long-term, slow dimming, a separate phenomenon where the star has been gradually fading over more than a century, has no clean explanation at all. Astronomers no longer say aliens, but they also do not say solved. They say it is unusual. They say it is anomalous. They say we have never seen another star do this. In 1972 and 1973, NASA launched 2 probes called Pioneer 10 and Pioneer 11. Their mission was to explore the outer solar system, Jupiter, Saturn, and the dark beyond. They are still out there. Pioneer 10, silent now, drifting toward the star Aldebaran. Pioneer 11, silent since 1995, heading roughly toward the constellation Aquila. They will reach those stars in approximately 2 million years. But beginning in the 1980s, scientists at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory noticed something wrong. Both Pioneer probes were decelerating, not by much. The unexplained force was 8.74 times 10 to the minus 10 meters per second squared, a number so small it is almost meaningless to the human mind, the equivalent of slowing a freight train by the weight of a falling snowflake. But it was consistent, and it was real, and both probes were experiencing it. Directed almost exactly back toward the sun. For nearly 3 decades, the Pioneer anomaly was one of the most quietly disturbing puzzles in modern physics. Because if the deceleration was real, if some force was acting on these probes that we could not account for, then there was a possibility that our understanding of gravity, on cosmic scales, was incomplete. Theories multiplied. Modified Newtonian dynamics, hidden dark matter clouds, exotic physics, a modification to general relativity itself. In 2012, a team led by physicist Slava Turishev published a study that appeared to solve it. They built a thermal radiation model of the spacecraft, calculating how heat from the probe's onboard plutonium power sources radiated asymmetrically into space, producing a tiny but persistent push. The model matched the observed deceleration almost perfectly. For most physicists, the case is closed. The Pioneer anomaly was thermal recoil, not new physics. But here's what doesn't fit. The same effect has been searched for in other probes: Voyager, Galileo, Cassini, Ulysses, and the data has been inconclusive. The Pioneer probes were uniquely well suited to detect a small persistent acceleration. The probes that came after were not, so we cannot independently verify the answer. We have a model that explains it, but somewhere out there in the silence beyond Neptune, 2 dead probes are still drifting, slightly slower than they should be, and we are taking our best theory on faith. Our Milky Way galaxy is moving. Right now, as you listen to this, our entire galaxy, 400 billion stars, the sun, the Earth, you, is being pulled through intergalactic space at roughly 600 kilometers per second. That is 1.33 million miles per hour. We are being pulled towards something. In 1986, a team of 7 astronomers, they would become known in cosmology as the Seven Samurai, published a paper that mapped the motions of hundreds of nearby galaxies. They were not all moving randomly. They were not just following the cosmic expansion. They were streaming, together, in the same direction, toward a point in the sky in the direction of the constellation Centaurus, approximately 250 million light-years away. The team called it the Great Attractor. The mass required to pull this many galaxies at this speed from this distance has been estimated at the equivalent of tens of thousands of Milky Ways, an almost incomprehensible quantity of matter, concentrated in one region of space. And here's the part that has haunted astronomers for 40 years. We cannot see it. The Great Attractor sits behind what astronomers call the zone of avoidance, a band of the sky obscured by the disk of our own Milky Way. The gas, the dust, the billions of foreground stars block our view. For decades, the Great Attractor was almost invisible, observable only through its gravitational pull on everything around it. In the 2010s, infrared and X-ray surveys began to peer through the dust. Astronomer René Kron-Korteweg led much of this work. What they found was a massive galaxy cluster called the Norma Cluster, and beyond that, an even larger structure called the Shapley Supercluster, 400 to 600 million light-years from Earth. The Shapley Supercluster, it turns out, may be the deeper source of the pull. The Great Attractor was the foreground. Shapley was what sat behind it. So is it solved? Not entirely. The combined visible mass of the Norma Cluster, the Shapley Supercluster, and everything else we can see in that direction still does not fully account for the speed at which our galaxy is being pulled. There is a residual. Something is still missing from the equation. Dark matter is the leading explanation. There is, almost certainly, an enormous amount of unseen mass in that direction, but we have not measured it. We have only inferred its existence from the motion of a galaxy that we cannot stop, that is being pulled towards something we cannot fully see. 5 mysteries, a whisper from Sagittarius that never returned, a hole in the universe that should not exist, a star that dims in ways no model can fully explain, 2 dead probes drifting slower than they should be, and our entire galaxy being pulled towards something we cannot see. What ties them together is not aliens. It is not science fiction. It is something stranger and quieter and more honest. The universe is mostly unknown. We have mapped the cosmic microwave background. We have detected gravitational waves. We have, in our lifetimes, photographed the shadow of a black hole. And yet, the longer we look, the more we find things that do not fit our models. Anomalies, gaps, whispers. Each of these 5 mysteries has been studied for decades. Some have proposed solutions, some have leading theories. None of them are truly closed. We live in a small, bright bubble of understanding, surrounded in every direction by a darkness we have barely begun to chart. We listened for 72 seconds. We mapped a void 300 million light-years wide. We watched a star dim in impossible ways. We sent 2 probes into the dark, and they slowed down. And right now, we are being pulled towards something we cannot see. The universe is not silent. It is whispering. We just don't know yet what it is trying to say. This was Hollow Signal, signals from the edge of everything. If you want to hear what comes next, subscribe and turn on the bell. The dark always has more to tell us.